I think the announcements today are great. You know, we've been pushing for a modern, faster, greener railway with increasing capacity. Caroline Spellman was talking about 15% increase to 2019. So not absolutely massive, but, you know, we need to increase capacity. I think the direct link to Heathrow when you change it to Reading will be really good for people in Coventry. These are all the sorts of things we've been pushing in our Better Railway for Britain document. What it does do, though, of course, is to reduce the case for HS2 yet further. The benefits have dropped 4 times so far. Margaret Hodge from the Public Accounts Committee have said that they should be reduced further because they need to take into account the new Department for Transport reduced value for time saving and a number of other things. So already the case is down to just 20p of benefits on the whole Y for every pound invested. And of course, you know, demand to places is great for South Yorkshire that the electrification will continue to Sheffield, and that will...
I noticed that announcement today. Electrification up to Sheffield, Nick Clegg's constituency. Ironically, I'm not saying suggesting there's anything in that, but I mean, your point, Jerry, is that essentially these improvements and these announcements of these improvements undermines the case for HS2.
Well, absolutely, and in fact, that point was made clear by Andrew McNaughton and the South Yorkshire Passenger Authority quite some time ago. Electrification to Sheffield will reduce significantly the need for HS2 for people in Sheffield, and elsewhere it will cut demand. And interestingly...
I'm sorry, Jerry, you know full well that South Yorkshire Passenger Transport Executive is one of the strongest supporters for HS2. They would just want to see it going to South Yorkshire and West Yorkshire sooner than is planned for 2033. And actually, I think it should go ahead.
It will cut demand for HS2 if there's a much faster electrical service that's already happening and already in place. And in fact, Andrew McNaughton rather hinted that they shouldn't push the case for electrification too much because it might undermine the case for HS2. So that's what he was saying something like 18 months ago. And interestingly, Alstom has said that they can cut the time to Scotland by 50 minutes using existing track. So this is what we should be doing. Incremental improvements
if the Alstom
the railway, lower risk.
The number of trains on the East Coast Main Line would have to reduce.
Okay.
Not at all.
I mean, you mentioned you both...
on the East Coast Main Line.
Forgive me, gentlemen. You both mentioned Alstom there. I mean, a local firm who could do very well potentially out of this. 30,000 new jobs could be created because of these announcements today. Without wanting to rehash the HS2 argument backward and forth between you, there is good news in this. There is good news in this as well. Forgive me, Alan. There is good news in this as well, isn't there, Jerry Marshall?
Oh, absolutely, yes. And I think the announcements will create jobs and growth now, which is what we need, not the HS2, which will in fact damage the economy in the long term and doesn't do anything for anyone for many, many years.
One of the projects
this is what we should be doing, incremental low-risk improvements.